So I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting the dash panel out, get some rib nuts in there. I've got enough of them that I can do that, so we're gonna go ahead and shoot for that too. So while I had the dash removed to get the rib nuts installed to make that dash more serviceable, it gave me an opportunity to kind of clean up some of those edges, trim out where I needed to. It also gave me an opportunity to paint it. What I've used is a vinyl and fabric special coating. I've used it in one of my cars before. It was a Chevy S10. It's kind of this matte gray or light silver finish. I think that's going to look a lot better. That's going to need a couple of coats of paint on it. That's just after the first coat right here. So I'm going to let that cure up, and I'm going to get working on installing those rib nuts for this dashboard. So once that's finally painted, I can get it put back in and start reassembling the dash panel. Oh, how I wish I'd used rib nuts sooner in my life. They're amazing. What I've used is a vinyl and fabric special coating. I've used it in one of my cars before. It was a Chevy S10. It's kind of this matte gray or light silver finish. I think that's going to look a lot better. That's going to need a couple of coats of paint on it. That's just after the first coat. Now that I've got the dash panel made to fit and it's serviceable, I can remove it. I also decided that I was going to make sure that this switch panel was removable. I was able to accomplish that with very few modifications. I did have to drill out the holes here through the dash and through the down tubes, but what I was able to do with that was make it so that I can use one of these 1/4-inch plastic fasteners so that I can make it serviceable. So I'm going to go ahead and get that installed just so I can get a good test fit and see what we've got. Alright, so it fits. So I'll show you a couple of the modifications I had to make to it. I did have to drill out these holes here on the sides so I could be able to fit the plastic rivets through. And I did have a bolt clearance issue here, so I did have to notch out just a little bit of this panel so I could get the bolt to fasten on, because really without it, that part of the panel was pretty flimsy, and just so I gave it enough clearance to go through. So I'm going to go ahead and call that it for this week's episode. I've gotten a fair bit accomplished today, probably about 4 or 5 hours into it. What I was able to do was get that dash panel off, make that serviceable, make that switch panel serviceable, figure out and better nest some of those wires, and also figure out what the connections were all the way back to the wire loom, which is going to be very important when I actually go to wire this car and test it over for start it. Wasn't able to get there today, but I made a really good chunk of progress on it. I want to thank you for making it to the end of the video. Remember to like and subscribe to Yankee Auto Systems so you can stay caught up with the petty Chevy build. Still got a ways to go, but we're making really good progress. Get accomplished. Want to thank you for, nope.